Find the domain and range of the following mapping. Is it a function? So remember, in a mapping, it's pretty much set up just exactly like a table where the left side here is our x values, and then the right side is the y values. Now the reason why that's important is because the x values is the domain, and the y values is the range. Okay, so where it asks for domain and range, we're gonna need both of these, okay? So let's start with the domain first. And remember, we are listing these. I'll just use D for domain. And we got to use some fancy brackets. So there's an S and a 2. Boom, fancy brackets, okay? And we just list these. I'm just going to go straight down the list there. A, then C, then E, then G. Put commas between. And then to close with fancy brackets, we got a 2 and then an S, okay? So that is the domain because those are all the X values. Next up, the range. We'll use R for the range. So again, some fancy brackets, S, 2. There's our fancy brackets. And then again, I'm just going to go down that list. We got -5, 17, and then bacon. Then 2 plus car, I guess. And then finally, -Z, Z. Okay, now I need some fancy brackets to close there, so I got a 2, then an S. Fancy brackets, okay? So that is the domain and range. Next up, what we need to do is figure out if this is a function. Well, to figure out if it's a function, remember, we don't really need to look and see what the values are in the range. All we're doing with this is we need to figure out if there's any of these X values in the domain that have 2 arrows coming out of it for a mapping like this, okay? So I can see those, at least with E right here. I got 2 arrows coming out of it. And since it does have 2 arrows coming out of this one, it is not a function.